They look like your friends, they speak with familiar voices, but they are not who you think they are. The Divine Tree People, or the Awakened Shinju as I call them, they have awakened. They're not here to copy. Instead, they are here to reveal when you think about it. Every twisted obsession, every buried desire, every dark truth that you thought you could hide, they know it, and now they have essentially become it. Hidari doesn't just loosely resemble Sasuke, he exposes what Sasuke won't admit. Mamushi isn't just born from Bug, he is the truth that Bug is afraid to speak. And Matsuri, she's not just a lovesick puppet. Instead, she is the reflection of Moegi's secret that she has kept buried for years. These are not monsters in the traditional sense. They are really to be viewed as mirrors, and they are reflection, and the reflection staring back, it may be more human than the very characters that we've all grown to love over the years. The most dangerous thing about these awakened Shinju, it isn't that they were created in the way that they were, it's the fact that they are honest. In fact, they might be even more human than the characters that they were made from. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video where we unpack brand new confirmed information that we have via the Boruto illustrator Mikio Ikemoto as a part of that 9th anniversary Q&A, and he's revealed a treasure trove of new information, with today's video being one that gives some very interesting confirmation about the awakened Shinju, something that a lot of us have suspected, and Ikemoto has told us we are right. So let's jump right into Ikemoto's revelation. In the 9th anniversary Q&A to celebrate 9 years of Boruto as a monthly manga, Ikemoto dropped that bombshell. He says, quote, "Everyone creates a face for society, but the Divine Tree People have just newly awakened to self-consciousness and haven't learned to do that just yet. So they're reflecting their base models," end quote. So let that sink in for a second. These monsters, they aren't just copies. They are emotional blueprints. They expose the rawest, unfiltered truth hiding beneath the personas of the very people that they were made from. When a Shinju clone starts acting a way where it seems a little off, it's not because it is glitching per se. Instead, it is revealing to us a truth that was basically buried hidden. This is also very interesting because we now know narratively what Ikemoto was going for and what he was trying to convey when Shikamaru talked about how the Shinju are basically cubs. Ikemoto said they hadn't yet learned to hide their true emotions, not in the way that you or I could do if, say, we're in the room with someone that we don't care for. We wouldn't allow our emotions to be readable or to take over. These Shinju, on the other hand, they can't, hence they are cubs. The most fearful predators out there, they aren't the cubs who make it clear that they're hunting you. You can prepare for a threat that you know is coming. The most fearsome predators out there are the ones that hide their intention and they strike you when you never see them coming. Now, in terms of the characters themselves, Matsuri, Mamushi, Hidari, and etc., let's start with Matsuri, the Shinju who's made from Moegi's chakra. She is to be considered right now in love with Konohamaru, obsessively so. Ask yourself, when did Moegi act like that in manga continuity? She never did. Now, the anime dropped some hints that Moegi might feel some kind of way about Konohamaru, but in manga format, there was no indication on it. And the reason for this is because she wears a mask of professionalism, because they are fellow shinobi of Konoha, a mask of maturity. She understands that for as impossible as that dream that Konohamaru has, he wants to be Hokage, she probably hasn't made that move on the guy because he's focused on that dream. There's also the fact that you got childhood friendship and being a bit cautious and wanting to try to see if there's maybe something else out there. But deep down, the love that she feels, it may be unspoken, it may be buried. And now through Matsuri, it is screaming. And I guess I could kind of walk it back and say, if you go into part 1 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, as we've talked about before, that moment where Ada sees Moegi pop up and she's like, "Oh, Konohamaru," and she has that little smirk on her face as she's doing it, talking about how that's a childhood friend. Ada's whole character is one that's fascinated by love, so that was there, as well as the fact that you got Moegi standing there and Moegi knows that Ada is this 16-year-old girl at the time who everyone in the village was simping over. Everyone was calling her this beautiful goddess. You have Moegi, a woman that at that point in the timeline was pushing 30, because Moegi is only 4.5 years younger than Naruto. She directly said Konohamaru better not be drooling over Ada. That was a sign of jealousy right there. Now, the other thing you have to look at here is Mamushi. Think about how he was obsessing over Ada. That's basically Bug's cowardly affection. If it didn't exist, then Bug had balls. Mamushi being born from Bug's chakra. Bug was pathetic, he was cowardly. But he was clearly obsessed with Ada, and Ada made it no secret that she was pretty much disgusted with the guy. Bug worshipped her to an extent. He was scared of her, but he was also a simp for her. But quietly, there are other feelings inside of Bug that never got to manifest. Mamushi is that dangerous obsession unleashed. He is aggressive, he is violent, he is possessive. Every bit the trait like the most dangerous, most poisonous snake in Japan that Mamushi is named after. It's the same emotion. The only difference is that Mamushi doesn't have the shame and the cowardice that Bug feels. Like, let's use a real world example here, right? We're gonna use a couple real world examples. Bug is that guy that sees a girl or a woman he finds attractive and he's in his head and he's like, should I ask her out? Should I not ask her out? Mamushi does what I do. If I find someone attractive and I think I got a shot with them, I shoot my shot with them, and if she says no or she's not interested, I move on because it's her loss. You have to approach life with the understanding you're never going to be everyone's first choice. You're not even going to be everyone's last choice. For some people, you're not even going to qualify. Mamushi isn't timid like Bug. Mamushi's basically, I see what I want and I'm going after it. He's basically what Bug truly feels himself to be. That also would explain the physical transformation. Mamushi looks like he's got that old man strength. If you get the joke, you get the joke, but the long beard and the muscles and the shape that he's got, he's built like that uncle you got that's in his 50s that hits the gym every day and then goes home and drinks a 6-pack. He's got that odd old man strength build. Now with Hidari, he's a mirror of Sasuke, and this is interesting because you have to ask, like, hey, why does Hidari want to devour Sarada? Not just to kill her, but really just to consume her. That's because Sasuke's love for Sarada, it is very intense. Again, the light novels, when you read those, especially the ones set in the Boruto era, it drives home how deeply Sasuke cares for Sarada, much deeper than what the anime ever showed you, much deeper than even what the manga showed you. Sasuke is protective, but his final thoughts before he was taken, they were about Sarada's fate. He tells Boruto, watch over my daughter. Sasuke prior to that was also wondering what her role would be in this new world. He suspected that Sarada and Boruto were likely the key to salvation. Sarada was the whole reason why he was protecting Boruto. Hidari's hunger, it is twisted, but it's the same emotion. It is an obsession with Sarada's true role in this world. Only Sasuke wanted to prop her up, Hidari wants to consume her because he thinks consuming her, at least based on the information we have now, will give him answers. In this raw, unfiltered state, that obsession, it manifests into something that is monstrous. It is a perversion of someone like Sasuke who is extremely driven. Now, in terms of why this is good writing, I really like this. I do think that this is brilliant because it's not just a copy-paste storytelling, because what we're seeing here is very revealing. And it's something that if you understand writing crafts, I strongly recommend. Longtime viewers have heard me reference these books before, but How to Write a Sentence, I know the title makes it seem like it is very condescending. Strongly recommend that book if you're somebody that wants to learn more about the writing craft. And then the other book is the Paris Interviews, the Paris Writers Interviews. Those are books where you have authors that are sitting there talking about the craft of writing. I bring that up to say this. Good writers, they understand how to basically show us different sides of characters without having the characters themselves be the ones that reveal it. These divine tree people, they give us something rare, an honest, unfiltered look at established characters who we thought that we understood. This new information now shows that. We now know Moegi's love. Bug's toxicity, Sasuke's fears, and even as Ikemoto talked about, Ryu, his personality being as different as it is from Shinki, this is the true personality of Shinki. And this is what happens without a single line of confession by the originals. This is what happens without having someone else that knows the originals have to say, hey, they're really like this. We're seeing it for ourselves. This is a great display of show versus tell. We're seeing it. This is being shown. Now that we have this extra context, it should change how you view those characters. The Shinju, they do it for them, and that's what makes it good writing, because it is subtle, it is layered, it is psychological, and it is a deeply character-driven approach to the writing. Now, this gets even deeper when you go into the Buddhism aspect when it comes to the Shinju, because there's a whole different philosophy you have to look at. So to understand this, we got to take that deep dive into Buddhism. So in Buddhism, Mara represents forces of temptation, illusion, and self-deception. The awakened Shinju, they are personalized Maras. They are manifestations of hidden attachments that each of the originals tried to pretend didn't exist. Also in Buddhism, you have kleshas, which are mental states that cloud the mind, desire, aversion, ignorance. These Shinju are basically kleshas and incarnate. They also represent attachment in the form of matsuri, craving in the form of mamushi, and delusion and confusion in the form of hidari. But here's the twist. Buddhism teaches that recognizing those emotions is the first step towards enlightenment. So ironically, the Shinju are more honest and awakened than the very people that they're modeled after. That's what makes their entire writing brilliant. It's poetic, it is terrifying. In denying their emotions, the originals, they did remain functional, but their karma, those repressed emotions, they ultimately ended up birthing monsters. Now, in terms of the bigger picture, I want you to think about Jura standing with the other Shinju. I want you to think about the seeds for potential future confrontations between Hidari and Jura. So what does this mean for the future? It means the Shinju, they aren't just threats to the village. They're also threats to their very concept of identity itself. They force us to ask, who is more real? The human whose chakra they're made from, or the tree that basically is walking around as an awakened Shinju? As Jura's army grows, as he adds more people to it, but if he adds more people to it, we may start to see even darker reflections, truths about characters like, say, Shikamaru or someone like Sakura or even Kakashi, reflections that they weren't truly prepared to face. And that's what makes this storyline so chilling, and that's what makes it really good writing in my opinion. The Shinju are more than villains, they are karmic retribution if you understand Buddhism. Hopefully this video helped you understand that aspect, because they are reflections of the truths that we as people hide. They are the obsessions that we deny and the attachments that we bury. In the end, they don't just threaten the ninja world, they threaten to reveal the ninja world. And the brilliance in this also goes back to the fact that this is a play on what we saw in Naruto. How many times do we see characters say a ninja must see through deception? The irony is that these Shinju reveal that the ones who were being the most deceptive were the ninjas themselves. They were deceiving themselves. The Shinju are revealing that. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, clicking here on the left to check out videos from Naruto Explained, or click here on the right, check out videos from my other two anime channels where I talk about non-Naruto content.